Does your anime faces look wonky and unappealing? Because mine did. Therefore, I studied an anime art style for a week and learned a lot of things that helped me improve. So now let me tell you everything that you need to draw much better anime faces, but also how to actually draw them. So let's quickly start with a simple structure. And there are only two things that you'll need to draw anime faces, which one is a basic sphere and then a basic jaw shape. And now if you combine them, you obviously will get an anime face. And that's a super strong base that you can then add some facial features. But also what you can do is whenever you're drawing from a side view, like here, you can use an egg shape and then obviously add the jaw shape like this. But in 3/4 view, things will be a little bit different because you'll have this bump here with the eye socket and the brow line and also a cheek. But other than that, you just need a ball or an egg and a simple jaw. And actually it's really useful to fill the whole canvas with circles, so you can really practice that, because there's a high chance that you'll actually need some good organic shapes. Also you can do ovals, like the egg shapes, the circles, and also have variety in the sizes, so do a couple of smaller ones, a couple of like bigger, smaller, like medium, then the ovals, and just try to fill out the whole canvas with it. But obviously if you're drawing a face, you don't have to like nail the circle, because you can just use a liquify tool and fix it like that and make it alright. And that's tomato. Now if you want my brushes, they are for free in the description below, and with them you'll get 30 art tips that will help you improve your art in 30 days. So now let's just jump to proportions. And whenever you have your ball and a jaw, what I've started doing and saw that many anime artists do is put their eyes below the middle of the face. So here we have top, bottom, here would be middle. We can obviously measure that with fingers. So that I actually put eyebrows. So a little bit below that, I'll put eyes. Obviously you can see that from cats, because they have more squished faces and they all look much cuter. So pretty much if you put your eyes lower, then you can make the middle third a little bit smaller, which makes it much more appealing. But obviously it depends on whatever you're going for, because you can have either like shorter faces like that, then a little bit higher, but also you can have longer faces. So just depends on what style you're going for and what feeling, because like more shorter faces like this will look younger. Also what I like to do is make a little bit bigger forehead, and then between the level of eyes and chin, in exactly between, I just put a line for a nose. So here we can put a simple nose, and then from the bottom of nose to chin, what I'll do is put in the middle the bottom of the lips like that. Obviously a little bit bigger these features can be. Same with this, boom. There, a simple neck here, obviously erase a little bit guidelines, and here are simple eyes, and we have a simple face. Obviously then we can add some hair, not make it bold, but yeah, these are simple proportions. Then from nose or around a little bit above the mouth to the eyes, I'll put ears. So here there would be somewhere around here, around there, and here there would be ears. But obviously in anime you can put like cat ears, you can put horns, and to be honest, whatever you want. So here you can see we have like this, because the face is actually tilted, and actually this should be a little bit maybe higher. So now let's go to next part, which is about facial features. So here the main thing that we want to do is pretty much simplify everything. So when it comes to eyes, we can erase the lower eyelid or just corners of the eyes. So something like this. It will look much better, much more simplified. Like here, there's no corners and a little bit of lower eyelid. Then whenever drawing eyelashes, what I like to do is just group them into simple shape, something like this. And then on top, if you want to add like eyelashes, add a couple of them, also group them into like one bigger shape like that. Then for lower, a little bit smaller like that. Obviously then you can fill this with a color, but I just don't add a million eyelashes like this. It won't be that appealing and will be pretty messy. Now for nose, you can either just do like a line, a dot, and a simple shadow, or even just like a line with a shadow again, or even maybe a dot. So here you see that these are super simple, just one dot, one line, and a little bit of shadow. Obviously, like from 3/4 view, you can add a little bit more, and if you want, you can just add this triangle. And for mouth, we also want to simplify, so don't show all the teeth, okay? Just show a little bit of hints of them, and that's pretty much everything for simplifying. just want to hint the facial features. For example, here, but also you can just do like a line, maybe 2 lines, erase in between them, same here, or you can even just do like a line 1, or even just like a small line like this with some corners. That's already looks better. Now for ears, it's basically like a shape like this, boom, boom. So one side, 2, 3, 4, and then a line like this, then a Y that goes from this. Obviously this line goes further, so this is like this, then a small bump here and something like this. It's everything that you need. Perhaps we can make this like this, boom, boom. A simple ear, same here, boom, 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 boom. This like that, Y, boom, this, perhaps the boom. And we have an ear. But obviously you can just add like a cat ears, boom, something like this, boom, boom. Obviously make it a little bit 3D, so it would go in. Same for here, boom, a little bit of fur texture, boom, boom. And, or even like an elf ears, so something like this. Also you can keep this Y here, then have this bump here, boom. And you have pretty simple ears, something like this, boom. And perhaps like this, and a simple ears. So now let's go to another thing, which is how to make your faces more appealing. And the first and pretty big thing is to use a rule called small, medium, big. And that's everything that we need. So what it is basically you want to make the sizes of your facial features have variety. So make some big, some medium, some small. So for example here, let's say everything is normal. So here what can we do is perhaps keep these eyes, let's say there will be medium, okay? Now this nose, we can push it to make it bigger, and lips smaller, and it also looks alright. Now let's push it to, let's say, bigger eyes, a classic anime, boom, okay, let's say maybe a little small nose like this, and obviously normal lips, so they still look fine. And this lets you have variety in your character, so you won't do the same face syndrome over and over again. It also gives a little bit of hierarchy to your facial features. So if you want to make the lips your focal point, you can make them actually bigger. If you want to make your eyes a focal point, you can make them bigger. So it just lets you make a better composition. But also you can use that rule to the thirds of the face. So before I talk that, we can divide the face into thirds. So here we can do the same. So we can have either a big forehead, a smaller middle third, and a normal chin area. So we see here there would be a pretty small forehead, which we can make it a little bit bigger, then maybe push this a little bit like that. Or here we would have a medium, small, and big. If we go like this, boom. This is pretty big, this is pretty small, and this is pretty medium. And obviously here we have eyes, which are big, then we have a medium nose, and we can make these lips a little bit smaller, something like this. And still looks good. But also simplification will also improve your appeal in your faces, so you can use that. So now let's go to hair. And obviously here we want to also simplify every hair to simple shapes. So for example, whenever I start drawing hair for my characters, obviously I had a simple head like this. I just start with placing the forehead. For example, let's say it would be somewhere here, then eyes maybe here. I would first lay basic shapes. So for example, let's say we'll have a ponytail and a part here. We can just place this here and this here. Boom, we have one shape. Say there would be this, boom, and then here would be ponytail, something like this. Boom, maybe a little bit of hair strands here from below like this. And this is everything that you need in the beginning. Obviously then you will just make a layer or just keep in this, just go and add some more details, maybe something like this here, boom, then like a hair strand going from this, add a little bit of curve, maybe even decrease a little bit more. Let's say this goes here, boom. So from below we would have this here, boom, okay, we have this here, boom, boom, ponytail, a little bit of overlap here, this nice curve here, another one. And also you can add just some random hair strands sticking out. They give a little bit more realistic look and softer one, and more appealing, I guess, and less fake. Boom. Also, whenever you have a hair like, let's say here, when you have just like a front piece of hair, what you can do is add some variety. So you can erase some parts like this, boom, keep it random, don't make the same size everywhere, same length. For example, something like this, maybe then a little bit smaller close to this, bigger here, perhaps even one going out here, boom, maybe even from the side going this, boom. Just have variety in this, and it already looks much better rather than just having something like this, boom, where there's a lot of these cuts. So just keep it random, keep it simple, different sizes, different lengths. But also here we can use the same rule that we use to make our faces more appealing. So small, medium, big. And here we can pretty much make this as the bigger piece. It would be like here, boom. Then these would be a pretty smaller ones. Another one here we can do, well, we can do this one as a big one. Then this would be small, and let's say this would be medium. Same here, one bigger, one let's say medium, and a couple of smaller ones like these. Same obviously here, we can do this one here big, there would be a smaller one, medium one, another smaller, boom, perhaps another smaller. So now let's just quickly go and draw a quick character. I always start with a basic sphere for the head, then either I just draw a jaw or a line in middle. Okay, then we can just put a random line for our chin, then this would be like mirror, let's mirror with fingers, boom, boom. So below that there would be our eyes, let's make it a little bit bigger, boom. And then we can do our chin and jaw. So for example, something like this, obviously flip to see if it doesn't look crooked, boom. Here we have a simple shape for our anime head. So let's now just put some simple neck, maybe just like here, boom. And perhaps we can make this neck a little bit thinner. That's what I actually see in a lot of anime, a thinner necks, boom. And we have a simple shape for our head. So now between obviously the eyes and chin, we'll have our nose. So somewhere around here, perhaps. Let's measure with fingers around. Okay. So here at this point, I actually like to erase a little bit of the guidelines, boom, and we can make our nose. So we make a simple nose here, like this, a dot here, and some more shadows here from this side, boom. Let's say the light shines from this side. Okay, so here would be our eyes. So just mark some corners that we can put here. I'm showing this now, but I usually just don't do that. I keep that in mind. So you can do the same. Now let's put some eyes, simple eyes, boom. Just flip because this brush will be different on other side. And perhaps we can actually push this up. So when drawing anime eyes, I guess, we have two types. So one would be more rounded and other would be more angular, like this, boom. And this is like more, this is like cuter and like safer, and this is like more angrier and edgy. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let's say we want to draw a more edgier, so just lay some basic shapes for it, boom, and maybe push it a little bit up. Same here, flip it to see, boom, like this. Okay, I can erase this part here, boom, boom. I like to do this line that goes just straight here, boom. Now some basic eyelashes for now, like this. I like this brush because you see from one side it's like this and from other it's like this. You don't really need much brushes for this. A simple round one will be great. So here what I can do, I always just flip the canvas either horizontally or vertically. So here we see that the eyes aren't aligned. Let's just quickly fix this, boom. It's actually really nice to have the corners of the eyes and the other corners and the bottom ones aligned, that make the parallel line, because then the eyes are good. Also can then compare this with the perspective of the face. Now flip it like this and make it normal. So we can actually maybe push a bit these eyes like this. Same with this, boom. Now what we can do is, let's actually make this nose smaller and just put some lips for now. Okay, let's just make it simple. Just some hints of lips there. Obviously lips would be middle, from that would be bottom of lips, then top here. We can actually push this a bit, or we don't really have to. Now for chin, I started doing the really just pointy one. Okay, so I don't do this. I just keep it a straight triangle like this, boom. Okay, looks appealing in some art styles, boom. Now neck, this overlap here, boom. So now let's just add a little bit of eyelids, just not much, like this. Okay, it's not the same size, but whatever. Okay, actually make it more like this. These are pre-stylized eyelashes, eyebrows, I mean. So usually I would draw them like this, but this is more anime style. Okay, this can be erased. Here we have the third for middle of the face. You can make the forehead a little bit bigger, but we're drawing a character. Okay, let's just push it here. And now make lower lid, maybe something like this. Now let's just add a little bit of the marks of this character, boom, boom. Just copy that, we don't have to struggle with that, so we can keep these lines here parallel, kinda, boom, boom. For now, pretty good. So here we can do now eyelashes. For eyelashes, as I said, I like to make just a big shape for now, then add like smaller ones, still grouped up. Let's see how it looks. Looks alright. Now from the other side, boom, for that I like this brush, because here you see the pointy one that's great for eyelashes. Something like this and this, boom. Now for the bottom ones, we don't have to draw the bottom lid, we just hint that it's there with eyelashes. Obviously bottom ones are much smaller. So now let's just add some iris, eyes. Actually, let's make a new layer for that, because I always like to adjust it. So there would be something like that here. Just make this here, and obviously it already looks too big. Okay, so what we can do here is just move this. See, okay, it's almost there. So erase this, put it like that, boom, and flip it, just zoom out, boom. Okay, now we can place a simple pupil. Just take another brush here like this. Obviously compare, like if you see the outline of the brush, we can actually get the size of the pupil, right? And same on the other eye, a little bit bigger than this, so we can actually go, boom, and make it a little bit bigger, boom. Same here. Now corners of the iris, boom. Obviously depends on anime eyes. Some irises are like an egg. Now we can add some basic shading, and let me show you how I do that. So let's put just upper side in shadow, then a little bit of drop shadow here, more shadow here, boom, boom. Same here. Okay, there would be core shadow on this eye here, boom, how it looks. All right, erase a little bit here, boom, make more these, okay, boom, boom, make it a little bit darker here. Now put this here, a little bit lighter, boom. As we said before, we have light from this side. Now take airbrush, and I like to add this nice gradient here, boom. Also soft eraser, and if we have light from this side, well, boom, what it means is we'll have highlight on this side and lighter color from the iris on this side, boom. Let's take the eraser, make this color here lighter, boom. Now take darker color, place it here and here, same here. And you may think that highlights aren't black, and let me show you something. So we place this color here because we want to have a nice contrast. Okay, so like here, it makes it pop more here, boom, same here, boom, and here. This is like a more realistic. Also just add some random lines here, boom, 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 boom. Alright, and we have a simple eyes, and obviously maybe add some shadows here, okay, boom. Not too much, but yeah, we have simple eyes. So now to the next step, which is hair. And here she has ponytail. First, let's put a mask at the eyebrow level, somewhere here. And now it looks like a bob. So let's add some volume to her, so it would be something like this, boom, boom. So there would be a mask. Okay, let's put a dot here, a screw. Now let's put some simple cat ears here, copy this, boom, boom, then just go and this as a curve, maybe a little bit more. So just erase this and push it like this. Okay, now let's go for the hair, make a new layer, boom, and just add this here like this. Now a bow tie here, make it like this, boom, boom, and now we can do this. So let's make a big shape here like this and just make it go here, but actually let's make some more interesting one and maybe tilt it like this, put it to the side a little bit, boom, and it's a little bit better, boom, boom. Add some details, maybe some flying hair like this, boom, this can be erased like this, boom, boom. Now we see the small, medium, big, so here would be big, boom. There could be a small, medium, so make it a little bit bigger. This may be smaller. Add some overlap here, boom, boom. I can add this pyramid here of some signs. I'll put this triangle here that goes like this with eyebrows, okay, and maybe goes to this point here to make it make sense a little bit. We have almost a nice face. Okay, boom, boom. Now we can add some more hair. Let's just make one strand here like this and add some flow to it. So you see here, this goes here and this here. Pretty nice. Now we can erase this here. Okay, boom. Now let's add some more hair, and it's erase this right now. Add some hair. So like that, maybe a little bit of overlap here, boom, boom. This coming from here. Let's actually change this a little bit, maybe like this. This pushed a little bit like this, boom. Now go to the other one and make the same here, boom. Now perhaps we can do some hair like this, a little bit more here, even longer ones, boom. Erase this, same here, like this, boom. Perhaps maybe some hair here, just wrap around the face a little bit. Add some more depth. So now let's just clean the hair a little bit. Boom, that, boom, boom. Okay, same here. Boom. Take these lines here, erase them. Boom. Let's take this and push it a little bit up, like this. Take these, maybe do this. Boom. Push it a little bit like this here, make this higher. And yeah, obviously then we can go and just clean this up. Okay, so now we can add some basic shadows here. Boom. Also let's add some neck shadow. So yeah, here we have a finished one, and to be honest it's still like a sketch. Then you can obviously go and do your line art, like more refining. But also in the description there will be a course that I'm making, which is obviously not finished, but you can get it now for half of the price. But you'll get it obviously when I finish it. It will basically help you make faces from a simple ball to a fully rendered face. And also as a bonus you'll get all my Patreon tutorials, and also bonus tutorials like drawing faces in anime style, only in style of Sakimi-chan or League of Legends. But yeah, I'll still working on it, so yeah. Also this week there will be a tutorial on Patreon on how to draw anime faces, so you can join it for monthly tutorials. Now if you're struggling with drawing bodies for your characters, then you can check out this video here that will help you with it. So bye.